introduction. For our second assignment on the subject BLW1013 business law, we were assigned a task to elaborate on specific cases, and the case we have chosen is the Merrit vs. Merrit case 1970. As a brief idea, this case refers to Mr. Merrit, appellant, who has agreed to transfer the jointly owned matrimonial home together with Mrs. Merrit, appellee, and to clarify whether there was any intention of creating legal relations. Mr. and Mrs. Merrit married in 1941 and held their matrimonial home in joint names. However, in 1966, Mr. Merrit left the home to live with another woman. In other words, Mr. and Mrs. Merrit are separated. Mr. Merrit agreed to pay Mrs. Merrit a total of Rs. 50 per month as a result of his actions. Mr. Merrit signed a document at Mrs. Merritt's request, confirming that once Mrs. Merrit paid off the remaining mortgage, he would transfer the family home into Mrs. Merritt's sole name. Mrs. Merrit successfully obtained a declaration that the house belonged to her after paying off the mortgage. However, Mr. Merrit filed an appeal. The issue arose when Mr. Merrit failed to keep his promise to move the house in Mrs. Merritt's name. Mr. Merritt's counsel argued that the agreement was a domestic agreement between husband and wife, and there was no intention of creating a legal relationship. Therefore, no contract was enforceable. He also argued that the alleged contract was not certain enough to be enforced by the court, and that Mrs. Merrit had failed to give consideration on her behalf. On the part of Mrs. Merrit, in turn, she argued that since they were in the process of separation, the presumption that there was no intention of establishing a valid contractual relationship did not occur. She claimed there was an intention to establish a legal relationship. Plus, she had paid off all her mortgage debts and home expenses. The trial court decided to award the mobile home to Mrs. Merrit as a trustee for future use by her son. The court also ordered that Mr. Merrit pay $50 per month for child support. As a conclusion, from what we can see in this case, it is very important that we consider various perspectives before intending to execute the intention to establish a legitimate relationship. Therefore, it will not pose a problem in the future.
Created using Powtoon.